Good morning and happy Monday. Welcome to the SHAC. Been a bit of a scramble here, so come on in and I'll just check the volume because that's the last thing that I didn't do. Yeah, a bit of an adventure this morning. Lesson learned. Log in earlier. You can see I'm at home at the moment. Let me just check this volume because it's really loud. Hello. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's much better. I think that's better. There you go. All right, let's start again. Good morning. Come on in. I know everybody's out getting ready for Christmas, but I'm sure there'll be a few of us set to doodle. Welcome to the SHAC. My name's Barbara Gray. Still. And Paul is in the room with yourselves. So if you have any questions, then he's your man. And we'll just let a few friends find us, calm down. I didn't even have time to go and get a cup of tea because the cameras weren't working. And you can't do the SHAC without the cameras. So quick call to Jim. All is well in the SHAC camp again. And have I done any prep? No, I haven't done a single bit of prep, except I know I've got it in my head. So this will be an adventure. This is a first. I keep thinking, oh, failed to prepare to fail, but that's okay. I'm sure I can rustle up a scene in a bauble. Don't you reckon? What happened was, right, between us, I thought I was having one of those gallstone episodes about an hour ago. Cool, I did feel bad. And it worried me because you have to have had that once to experience it, to understand that it's what you don't want. Now, for some reason, I can't find the chat. So just bear with me a second. Anyway, so I was having this moment, right? And it was really unpleasant. And I thought, oh no, not now, not the day before the kids are coming home. Really not now. What I need, Paul, where's the See, since I've been on here, everything's changed. There you are. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, so I had this episode and it was really painful. And I thought, please, dear God, not the week before Christmas with the kids coming home tomorrow. So the problem was that I kept thinking, oh, you shouldn't have eaten that cheese yesterday. It isn't going out on Facebook, so I will share the YouTube on Facebook. See, there's something wrong here. Paul, do me a favour and just check with Jim. He'll be able to figure it out. Either way, here we are. And I apologise for the glitches. You know, sometimes things are just not meant to be. But, right, first of all, I thought I'd shine a little light on our bijou Christmas jumpers. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Right, stick to the plan, great. And then I thought we could have a look at the at this other little idea, because the last couple of weeks we've been really going for it. And we started out with those really nice trees. Do you remember? They went down a storm. So Catherine says she's found us on Facebook. Catherine, can you tell the rest where we are, please, love? And then we did these baubles last week, didn't we? So they came out well, just on stencil card. So we did the baubles. And I thought today it would be quite nice to make a bigger bauble and put a scene inside. So take these trees and put them in the bauble. Just that was the plan, and it was going swimmingly until I had my turn. Sorry. But that's okay. We'll see where we go with this today. And you'll see me improvising. Morning, everyone. Found you on Pergamano Live. There you go. Well, as long as some of us are hanging out together, that'll be great. Hey? And this afternoon, Paul's kindly, he's going to take on the 2 o'clock show, and he'll be driving that sale for the charity for Save the Children with the groovy version of our bijou Christmas jumpers. And apparently Jazz is all over it this morning. That's what she's doing, which is great, isn't it? Technology gremlins, Paul says. Is it us or is it Facebook? Either way, where there's a will, there's a way. And provided that it's all recorded, then you'll be able to look up what we did on YouTube later. Right, I can't handle watching people tell me that they can't see me. So I'm going to switch the chat off. Okay, because that's just the last thing I need. Okay, so first of all, we've got this charitable drive going on. And what we did was we designed, remember Jim's jumper? Well, we shrank it, and we decided to make some little jumpers so that we could make little tags, and then Jazz added the scarves. So what these are in effect are 2-way overlay stamps. So the outline works on its own, as you can see here. The infill works on its own, as you can see here. And they would sing beautifully together. So then you can drop that one in that one and get that one. So loads of different, I mean, you know, this was what I did on Friday. I mixed the, which was really nice. I mixed the ink up on the actual stamp. And you can see that I wanted to see how the detail, whether the detail stayed. And it's just so gorgeous. So these are our Christmas jumpers, and Mark II, so to speak. And what we decided to do was raise some funds for Save the Children. So the idea is that you buy the stamps, we give the VAT man his money, and then whatever's left, half of whatever's left goes to charity, and the other half goes to making the product. So we don't lose, but we don't gain either, but you get 2 beautiful sets of stamps and quite a lot of money you are sending then, or we are sending on your behalf to Save the Children. And so that's the deal here. Okay, and I'm really hoping to be able to send a nice check to Save the Children. Whether you buy just 1 set or 2 sets is entirely up to you. I'm sure that Paul is posting the details for us there, and the link is posted for the product. So please support Save the Children by investing in these 2 beautiful little sets of stamps. I mean, it's a win-win really, because you really do get to own 2 special sets of stamps. And my thoughts on this were that next year we could have a little card making drive, so we could make tags, you know, we can get it fired up in the SHAC, and then we could actually make sets of stamped cards and gift tags, etc., to sell, to make money for Save the Children. So it's the gift that keeps on giving. There you go. That's what we're doing today. And this afternoon, join Paul at 2 o'clock over at Clarity Towers, and he'll be showing off the tiny little groovy jumpers that Jazz is rustling up for us as we speak. There you go. Teamwork makes the dream work, doesn't it? How is everybody? I'm not going to watch because it does your head in if you're pedaling like crazy, and then all I can see is I can't see it on Facebook. It's like, oh, hang on a minute. I can't concentrate either when I see all that. So let's have a look at doing a bauble together. And all I need is I'm going to take a piece of stencil card. 1 piece of stencil card will do, great. And then I need a stencil to draw around. So last week we looked at this stencil, didn't we? And that was the stencil that gave us all these lovely little baubles, see? So that was cool. This week, I think I want to put a landscape in a bigger bauble, and there isn't one. I mean, I could go that size, but that's quite small. So I thought I'd go to this one, which is really great. The bubble burst. We've got loads of different ones. See, we've got the bubbles, the stars. They're like these really cool bursts, squares. See them? And I thought, yeah. So I grabbed that one. I thought that would be just the ticket. So I'm going to use that. And, you know, having said that, if you haven't got that, don't worry, draw around a cup. The only thing is that I'm going to pull colour into the ball, into the bauble, into the shape. So I need the outer to be protected. But I'm sure you'll work it out. So let's have a look. We're going to let's put that to one side safely. Let's take this. First thing, I'm going to shrink. Because when I look at this, it's too big for my Serenity. So I'm going to just make the inside, shrink it from 7 by 7 to, I don't know, just over 5 inches it'll be then by the time I do this. It just gives me a white frame that I've got more, you see, like this. See the white frame around it? It just gives me that edge, and it makes the artwork a little bit smaller. Now I'm hoping that this SHAC session is going to calm my mind. I really had a panic thinking that I was going to hit the deck again. I'm waiting for an appointment from the doctor, from the hospital, but it hasn't been forthcoming yet. Oh, it will. It will. I don't want to spend another 2 days sitting in A&E. Right. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm going to make a couple. Well, let's just do one. Come on, Barbara. What are you thinking? Right, let's do one. And I'm going to, but the thing is, I'm going to put it here so that if I choose to put another one up there, I can. I'm going to stay in this bottom left-hand corner like that, I think. So there's a little room for a word if I want to. There's room for a bit of string if I want to make it into a bauble instead of a bubble. Yeah. And also, if I'm just going to grab that stencil like so. There we are. Oh, like that. And then I'll just position that there like that. That'll do. Right, now I've got all these little bits and pieces. So I'm just going to, let's just do that like that. So that now is like that. Okay, cool. And I've got all these bits and pieces, which I can cover up or expose, whatever I choose to do. But if I go in here now, because I do want to make a bauble, lessons learned last time, I'm going to leave a gap at the top, there to there. Yeah. So that's at the top, say, and I'm going to go round like that with my pencil, and I'm going to leave a gap. So what I'm showing you is that I've left a gap. And then that way, when I draw this little bit, the hanger, yeah, I can come in a little bit, make it look a bit more dimensional. So then that is going to be more like that, see? And then that is going to go up like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. There you go. And now it looks like a bauble-ish. Okay. Then we can hang that and make a little scene in there. So I think we're halfway there, really. Okay. Shall I come in a bit closer? Let's have a look. Right. Okay. Let's have a look. Now, so we've done that. What I wanted to do, we've done that bit. What I wanted to do was put some trees in and a little cottage, maybe a couple of scenes. The reason that this came to me was because in January we've prepared a really lovely set of landscape masks. I know we've already done it. And I suppose it's in my mind because Jazz and I have been working on it, and I'm drawing these little folk arty stamps ready for January. And so the landscape, well, it's always on my mind. I'm always thinking landscapes. But this would be nice to put one inside a bauble, okay? So really lightly with the pencil, because we might want to rub it out, okay? So I'm using the stencil to give me my shape. And now I'm going to put some trees. So I'm going to put a tree at the front. I'm just going to put a triangle at the front. I'm not going to overthink it, like that. And then I'll put another triangle behind it so that I'm going to put a little cluster of trees here, I think. There's 1, 2. I don't want to put another one. It looks a bit weird. Might put another one there, a little tiny one. What do you think? Like that. There you go. Who knows? Right, and then I need some hills. So I'm going to go, I think I'm going to put a hill, right, like a curl, like that. So I'm going to take my arm, I'm going to go like that. Down we go, behind that tree, like so. There you go. Landscape a go-go. This isn't hard, is it? Now, let's have a look. I'm going to put another hill coming this way, I think. So that'll be nice. So I'm going to bring that one. Can you hear the wind chimes outside? Nice. That'll go like so. And then perhaps I might put another hill. Let me think. Where am I going to put the cottage? That's key. It's quite high up, isn't it, this? Right, cottage here, I think. Little cottage here. So what do I want my cottage to look like? Well, it's got a roof. Little log cabin. Should we do a little log cabin? Like that. Simple. Like that. That'll do. There you go. You got it? So I've got a little log cabin. Like that. I'm going to surround this by trees as well, I think. Right, more trees. Oh, I think I'll give it a chimney. I need a rubber now. So you've got to draw it now. Here is one. Hey. Okay. Bit of copy paper. Oh, I feel very isolated here because I've switched the chat off. Have we stopped telling me that you can't see me now? Because if you stop that, I might come back in the room. Okay. Just do that. There we go. Chimney. What does a chimney look like? Okay, like that. And then a little top bit like that. That'll do. There we are. Keep it simple. There, looks quite nice. Door. I think we put a door in. And a couple of little windows. Nice. Paul says they've stopped talking about the fact that they can't see me, so let me see if I can find you now. No? Yes. Hello. Good. That's better. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Richard, how are you doing? You feeling better now, you and Lisa? Right, now I feel like I'm back in company. Now let's have a look. Let's get a couple of trees going again. One's around the back. That's it. Another little one there. I'm just doing triangles like we did before. Keep it simple. I'm going to put a big one there, like that. Behind that tree, behind the house. Another little one there, like that. And then one here. And maybe another one there. Quite a lot of trees. Another one there. Triangles are easy, aren't they? I think we need to move over here and get some trees going here. Another one there. Put one behind that. Bit of perspective. I'm going to put a really little rinky-dink one right there, like that. Okay, so I've got my scene set. I think that'll do. So I've got a hill there, Could put a path in if you felt like it. Hey, there you go. So he's not completely isolated. He's got a little path. Nice. Okay. Hi, Ken. Grandpa duties. Nice. Good for you. So I've got my picture kind of ready to go. I've got my outline anyway. Can you see that? How are you doing? You doodling along with me? So this would be quite nice. I can always add, but I can't take it away. And it's all in pencil. So if I don't like it, I can rub it out. And therein lies the beauty of the pencil eraser, our biggest selling product next to Groovy Tabs. I know. Can you believe it? Good. Okay. So now we've done that. And I want to just check that it looks nice. I'm happy with that. Yeah, I think that looks very good. But how do we colour it in? Well, let's have a look. I think the first thing we need to decide is what colours are we going to use. I think that's the key. And also, I personally think that you get a real good effect. Right, I'm going to lose all these. I'm just going to mask off all the little bubbles because I want it to be I've decided I want it to be a bauble, okay? And I must say I feel much better than I did. I wonder what that was all about. Nerves, a little bit of that as well. Right, now, so I've masked off all my area. I just want to make sure, because this is still part of the deal, isn't it? So I don't want really to get excited when I'm using a sponge or a brush. Now I've got to get the colour in, but I also want to get the trees in right. So I'm thinking, so I'm not going to cover them up. I could have used the masks, but then, do you know, when you start using masks and it starts to get really complicated, and I wanted to keep it simple today. Okay. So let's have a think about this. Let's get this right. The trees. I think the first thing is I'm going to use I need to cover that bit up, that's for sure. That little bit there needs to be covered. This thing that's out the top. So I'm just going to use a pair of scissors to mark that off. Yeah. Want to try and keep this as uncomplicated as possible, Barbara. But that, like that, just cut that there like so. Right, so now I've got my picture isolated, yeah. And now I'm gonna go for my polychromos, and I'm gonna go for the pine green. If I've got a pine green, then that's the one. Right, polychromos, pine green, and I think possibly a nice light. What about a light blue? Do these two look good together? Well, let's check. I've got pine green. That's rather nice. And then I've got, what have I got here? Sky blue. See, they look rather nice together, don't they? But I need an ink because I'm going to brush. Okay. So first of all, the trees. And I'm going to do the outlines of the trees. I think I'm going to do the outlines of the trees. Rather than in black pen, I'm going to stick to colours, keep it soft. So, outlines of trees first. I think that's the way to do this. And then, once I've done that, I can put a couple of, well, I know what I'll do. I'll do the outlines. Did you have a good weekend? What did you get up to? I spent the weekend on my own because Dave went down to Devon to see his sister, which was very nice of him. And I'm sure they had a lovely time. And so I spent the weekend just getting the house ready for the kids to come home. Having said that, I'm not sure what I'm doing here, but I think it'll be all right. Having said that, though, I did work quite a lot yesterday on the clubs and on the newsletter. Just putting the little stripes in now. You know, like we did before, but I'm going to make them all the same tree. I'm going to make them all like that. I think I'm going to just make them, I might go a bit random on the lines. Let's just do this. I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but I reckon it'll be all right. Right, a couple of random lines. Yeah, okay, because this is like the layers on a Christmas tree, see? And I'm just keeping it quite modern, like that, and simple. Because you've always got to think, you want to make it achievable for everybody, you see? And now we're just spreading those lines out a bit more. Random, like that. This will be good. And then we could see what I'm doing here is, and that looks weird at the moment, but it ain't over till it's over, friends, I reckon. And then what we could do, though, is see we've put a bit of shadow underneath the lines and then put a bit of snow above the lines. That's my theory anyway. Right, let's have a look. And then, yeah, I didn't leave the house. I did not leave the house. I'm going to go for a bluey hills because I want to do snow. It's going to be snow, I think. So we'll do that. Just get these lines in. There's the path as well. Right, now we've got that house to think about. Right, I need a pencil sharpener for this job. Let's have a look. Pencil sharpener. There must be one here somewhere. Just bear with me a second. There you go. Organisation is the key. I need some of those grey ones for the pen. Oh, look. Yes, I didn't leave the house, and I really enjoyed that. You know, just being on my own and in my little cocoon with the cats. Yeah. I mean, it's easy for me to say, oh, I like being on my own. I enjoy my own company. That's easy to say when you know your husband's coming back in 24 hours. It's a very different thing when you are actually on your own, isn't it? I understand, friends. I do. Now, let's have a look. I need a grey pencil. Just bear with me a second. That one will do. Okay. Just trying to figure out. That's a good sharp pencil. Hey? I hate... Oh, this is a really old sharpener and it's chewing up my pencil. Of course it is. On a Monday morning. So are you all... Oh, no, that's even worse. Are you all set for Christmas? Mm-hmm. Now, that's awful, what I've done there to that pencil. Criminal. Let's stick with this one for the minute. Okay. I need my other glasses on for this jobby. What are the chances of me finding them here, though? Apart from 0. Yeah, no. Not going to happen. Okay. Right, let's get some of this grey in there. Yeah. So, yeah, I say I enjoy my own company only because I know that I'm going to have a house full of people here shortly. And yeah, so then of course it's nice to be on your own, you know. I understand. Now let's have a look. Now let's try a tree and see what happens if we colour it in a little bit, shall we? Okay, let's try with the large one because that's the one that's going to give us the most. So I'm going to go, if there's a moon there, right, let's pretend we're going to put a moon there. Then I'm going to put the green here on the tree, I think. That'll work. Let's just get the green in. I think it'd be quite nice, don't you? That's it. A little bit like that. And then the green's going to come down the side there like that. And then under there. It's all right. We're going to cover this in ink in a minute, I'm sure. And then the same on this side. Always on that side. So underneath the stripe and then down on the left. Underneath the stripe and down on the left. I reckon that will look pretty good. See? Let's do this as well. Cool. I do wish I'd prepared for this one. But you know what? So you've got to start somewhere, isn't it? That's it. And then the same here as well. They look like all these telephone poles and like telegraph poles, but they're not. They're going to be lovely trees. There you go. That's it. I do love a polychromo, don't you? Right, calming down now. Takes a little while, doesn't it? So let's have a look. So much terrible stuff going on again in the world. Thing is, this is what I think, for all it's worth, okay? There's also a lot of loveliness going on in the world. But we seem to get directed to the tragedy and the devastation every time in the news. Maybe, you know. So if all you hear about and all you read about is terrible and doom and gloom and awful and negative, then that's what your world becomes. You know? We've got so much to be grateful for, and there's so much beauty in the world and so much positivity and loveliness. And when I hear people, with their grandchildren, like Ken, he spends time with his kids, and there's so much wonderful magic going on as well. And then your life, you attract that. It's almost like algorithms, if all you see is doom and gloom, then all you get is doom and gloom. And beyond algorithms, they just kind of they highlight how it works for me. If you are only interested in death and destruction, then your life will only be about death and destruction. If you're only interested in creating pottery, then your life will only be about pottery. You attract. I do believe this. I'm not putting it very well because my head is all over the place today. But what I mean is, you create your own reality, don't you? You attract what you manifest. It's the law of attraction. And this weekend, I was so I wasn't really online. I didn't do Facebook because it just keeps sucking me into this sad stuff. So I just keep rejecting it, and and then you feel guilty because you're not feeling sorry for these people. But it's like it just, I can't do anything. I have to control the controllable. Like I can make some bijou stamps. I can charge. I can drive a charitable donation through the community, and we have the means to make the stamps, to raise the funds, to I've got the platform. I can do that. There's so much in the world I can't do anything about, and I'm getting bombarded with it. And if I'm getting bombarded with it, you're getting bombarded with it. It's too much. It's too much, friends. And the more you watch it, the more you watch it, the more you see it, the more you'll get it. If your life is all about, if all you see is sadness and misery, all you'll get is sadness and misery. So Conversely, if you focus on the positives, glass half full rather than glass half empty, focus on the positives, focus on the happy aspect of life, right? On the better side, then you'll get more of that. And you'll start to come out of that doom, you know. I think when you're on your own, there is a risk that you can get sucked into that kind of negative vortex. And I just think perhaps we should take a look at that, you know. Now, let's have a look. I've sharpened my pencil again, and I've got a little bit of the green going. See, because the thing about these pencils as well is they act as a kind of a resist, don't they? So I think that's quite nice. I mean, I'm not doing a lot here, am I? And I need a moon. I definitely need a moon. So to do that, I need a mask. Stay there a minute. I bet I've got something in here. In this chaos that is my art room. What have I got here? I must have a moon. Oh, come on, Barbara. These are old. Have I got the moons I need, though? I've got plenty of castles. Hey, moons. See, this is the unpolished version of Barbara in the shack, where she hasn't had time to think about what she's doing. Let's have a look. I quite like the idea of that big, beautiful moon there, like that. Boom. That's that one. Mm-hmm. So now I've got my trees in place. I wonder if, just humour me here, whereabouts would I, let me see if I can find a blending pen. I wonder if, oh yeah, that smooths this out quite nicely, doesn't it? All right, well, we can do that in a minute then. Yeah, this smooths out, look, this, oh yeah, okay. This makes it look a bit more like a picture. Look, it just smooths out the green a bit. Yeah. Okay, that's more like it. I was starting to think we'll be here till the cows come home doing this. Okay. That's better. Okay, so now, instant this is going to be. I think what we need to do now is add a little bit of blue or something. So let's have a look. What have I got here? Blue's the obvious choice, but I think I'll go with shaded lilac. I know. I found in the past that when you use shaded lilac, when you press hard with a spot on sponge, it kind of goes to a nice light blue. And that will be quite a neutral colour for the sky. Let's see. I don't know. Let's have a look. So I'm going to make a spot on sponge like that. That's it. Okay, so this is shaded lilac. Let's see if I go in this area here. What do we get? Okay, so this is going to be. Oh yeah, that's going to look quite good, isn't it? So if I come in, yeah, see that shaded lilac. It's a nice colour. And it doesn't look bad on the snow, does it? It looks quite good in the snow. Quite like that. And then in the sky, okay, let's go in the sky as well. Let's add a bit of that. I'm going to go in with a brush in a minute to get it smoothed out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I need a brush for this job, don't you? Brush coming up. Let me see if I can find one that's got a bit of lilac on it. Oh yeah, that'll do. That's quite lilac. Okay. Yeah, that tones it down a little bit, see? Oh, molting. Okay. So let's get a bit of that colour going. Yeah, this will be nice. We're going to bring it up from the bottom like that. Anything that I cover up, don't worry, I can go back in with a white Posca pen, I think. Yeah, I wonder. So you can't, what I love about this kind of artwork is you don't know what it's going to be like. I think that's half of it is, that we really, need to stop worrying about the product, stop worrying about the outcome, stop worrying about the result, and enjoy the journey. You know, enjoy the process. Because the more you enjoy the process, when you're in the process, like I am now, you know, and I'm not going to worry about being judged by you know, by you as to whether it's good or not. I can't. If I get caught up on that, this is not enjoyable. But I'm just going to go with the process. And because I'm doing that, right, and this is what I'm encouraging you to do, because I'm doing that, and I'm not worried about it being good or it being impressive or you giving me a pat on the back. I've got to park all that and I've just got to go with the process. I want to make a landscape in a bauble. And I know quite a lot. Over 30 years, you've got to pick something up. And then I'm just going to apply some ideas. Maybe it'll work. But what I will do is I'll be in a creative zone, like a bubble, literally in a creative bubble. And I'll just enjoy being in that bubble for that period. And I'm not thinking about what's going on outside or what's happening in Bonsai Beach or what's happening in Germany or I can't do anything about those things. You know, all I can do is focus my attention on positive things. And that positivity begets positivity, which begets positivity. It's easy, really. It really is. Now, let's see what we can do here. So I've got my colour there. I wonder if we could have a little peep just to see what it looks like. Let's have a look. Okay, so you get the picture, literally. And I've done enough in the sky to definitely get a good moon going. Now, let's have a look. Okay, done that. I can always add it. So I'm just going to leave it there for the moment. I think I've got enough. I'll let that dry. And then while I'm doing that, let's go into that. Let's do a little bit of work on that little cottage there because it looks a little bit sad. What about, I bet in my little polychromo stash here, that's a kind of a neutral colour. Look, I chewed that pencil right up with that. Isn't that criminal? Sort that out afterwards with a sandpaper. Now, so what I think I'll do is I'll just add a little bit of depth there underneath. The windows, what about that line there? I reckon that's going to have a line like that. That'll do. Right, I'm going to put snow on that roof. Now I'm going to put a little bit of grey in there. Yeah. So at the weekend, I was writing up some things for like the newsletter and just loads of stuff for January and just getting in tune with what's going on and the clubs, you know. And I was thinking about the clubs. I know what I want. What about? I don't want to do white. I can do that afterwards. And I'm going to use a grey around this corner here. Let's get some grey going here. And I was thinking about the clubs, and because obviously we have to do the January in order for it to go out in time, we've got to be working on it now. So I spent the best part of the weekend, well, Sunday for sure, working on the club stuff, right? So that it can be ready to go out first thing January when we come back to work. Otherwise, it's never going to happen, is it? So that's what I was working on, and it made me think, because I was thinking about just how this creative process. That's why I'm all fired up about the creative process. You know, it's one thing just doing projects and you know, copying ideas, and there's another thing, exploring. It's a different feel. It feels it feels a lot more natural to kind of, just picking up that boring beige, to just enjoy, let's get that, what it is you're doing, rather than trying to get an impressive outcome. You know what the truth is? The impressive outcome will happen. I want to put a bit of shadow behind this hill here. I'm just using that boring beige to start with. See? When you get into the process, and many of you will understand this, you know, when you're in the process like this, when you immerse yourself in it, you'll find that the results come anyway, because you get better. You're not hung up on, there you go. You're not hung up on performance, you know. You're just enjoying the artwork. I think there's a lot to be said for that, friends. I'll go get another blending pen. There's so much to be said for that. While I'm doing this, you see, the ink is also drying. I know that. So that means that when I go onto it with a white Posca pen, which is going to be the game changer, the white Posca pen will be the game changer. See if I've got any pink, got any lilac on there. Yeah. I've lost my thread, but I do know that I'm not alone about this. You know, I think there are a lot of people that understand how art works. You know, art and therapy. You know, we've been saying it for years, haven't we? Get out of your head and get with your hands. That looks nice. I bet. Let's have a look. Yeah, see, you're getting a bit of depth going there now. Nice. So I wonder if I could find a darker colour rather than lilac. What else have I got in my little box of tricks? See, that's a little bit dark, that one. I wonder if Stormy Sky, let me just see. If I put Stormy Sky over the top, whether we'd get a little bit darker colour. Let me just check something. It's a bit, isn't it? Well, it might work. Stormy Sky, it's a bit green, isn't it? Feels like. I wonder if I might go with something grey, actually, like weathered wood. This is all a bit too colourful, isn't it? Yeah, I'm going to steer away from colour. I wonder if that would work. I know black sounds a bit extreme, doesn't it? But you know what? When you're moving it in from a great distance like this, like over here, oh, see? Trying to get that idea of a bauble, isn't it? That's the thing. You see, you bring it round. Even though it's black, I mean, you'd use black. You'd use the ink pad, wouldn't you? Yeah, look, see? Getting a bit of depth. Let's see if that helps. Yeah, I like. A bit dark. That'll do. But I bet if I went back over it with a bit of lilac, it would change it now. Yeah, there you go. Okay. That'll do. Right, now, we've done that. Let's get the old white Posca pen out and see if we can create a bit of charm. I think I'm going to leave this hanging on there for positioning. You know, when you want to go back, it's a lot easier if it's in the right place. It's quite, I mean, with the circle, it's not so bad. Let's see if I take this away now. Yeah, love. Okay, that works. Good. Now, where's that white Posca pen? I must have that here. Oh, hold on. I'm sure I've got a white Posca pen. Come on. There's one. Okay, good. We've got green in the cupboard as well now, haven't we? Green Posca pens. Right, let's see if this works. Okay. Right, now what did I want to try? I'm going to put white in the other area of the trees, on top now of the lines, if you know what I mean. So that muddy area now is going to be white, see? So that's the top of the line. And then I'm filling it in with, yeah, it works. See? So you're going to go down there, cool, flood. There. And then here, if it's a little bit grayer, that's okay, because it would be weird if it will, that'll do. Right, so it's brightest up here. So it's that triangle area, you see? You're filling in above the line. I think that works. Yep. And then down the bottom of the tree, I'm not going to worry too much. I haven't decided yet. So this afternoon at 2 o'clock, you're going to be with Paul, I hope, if you've got time. Let's have a look. And then, nice, eh? Just put a little bit of white in between. Up here on these tiny... I wish I had my Dame Edna's, I tell you. But this works. Look, here we go. So we're just going to add a bit of snow. I think I'll put some snow on the roof as well. I've got a feeling that would look good. Is this working? Yeah, I think so. Right, roof. That's good. And then let's go. There we are. Well, I look forward to seeing your baubles as well, if you don't mind me saying so. Right, so we've got those little landscapes going in here. Get some light white there. That looks pretty cool. Now, tree up here. We haven't done this bit, have we? So we're getting the trees going now. So there's a lot of snow here now. See, I think this works, doesn't it? Makes it look like there's a bit of shadow, but also a good amount of snow, eh? Doesn't it look right? I think so. I've always struggled making trees look snow laden. That's always been a challenge for me. But that looks pretty cool. Right, house. Now, next thing, I think we need a bit of snow. Snow. Let's just give it a bit of... It's like a snow globe, almost. Yeah. I might finish this in my own time and then post it on. See what we've got. This looks quite nice. There. I don't think I'm going to take... I don't need that anymore now. I think I've got what I want. And then I wonder if I've got... I could take that blue pencil. Just add a bit of depth up here. I feel like it needs a bit of blue. The black's a bit overcooked grey. Next time I might not go with black. But certainly gives you the depth, doesn't it? Now, what about this thing? this thing that I've created here. Let's have a look. What can I use? I think I'm going to go with a grey around the bottom. And then let me just, if I put stripes in like that with a grey pencil. That's a start. No. Silver would be good. I know I've got a silver. Let's give it that one. Oh, have I got a silver in my little box of tricks though? This is a good question. Yes, she does. Well, I'll be. Right. Okay. What's the time? Is it already? Well, I'm all excited because Grace and Mark are coming home tomorrow. So they're going to be getting to Heathrow at different terminals, but Grace lands 2 hours before Mark, so she can get over to terminal. He lands at terminal 2 from San Francisco, and she lands terminal 3 from New York. So they've timed it so that we can pick both of them up at the same time. So well, that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm very excited about it too. So it's coming together now, this little trick, isn't it? What do I think? I think it's a little bit dark round here, but I also know, I wonder if, just let me try something. I wonder if I could tone that down a little bit. If I could take a little bit of colour out of it, or whether I would ruin it. We're just about to find out. Oh, it gives it a bit of texture. Okay. What if? And that's what the Stencil Club and the... I can only encourage you to join the Stencil Club. If you're in the Stamp Club, treat yourself to the Stencil Club as well. Because we're going on a journey next year and we're going to be playing What If. Because that's the thing. That's what I'm talking about. When I speak about the process, yeah, let's see, I'm taking that horrible blackness out now. When I talk about the process and I say, you know, you can either worry about what the result's going to be, or you can just immerse yourself and go for it and call it what if. What if I do this? What if I do that? So I was quite prepared, right, to make a hole in my card for the sake of seeing whether I can lift the blackness. Then I can. So that's a result. See? So it's a what if. Could have gone wrong. And if it had, I'd have learnt something. Wouldn't have been a problem. It's only a bit of card, remember? See, that's not so dark now, is it? That's much better. So now I've done that. I wonder if... I feel a bit... I like it because it's a bit mistier now, see? It's not so... There's other rubbers, other erasers. I wonder if this large one would do a bit better. Have a look. Just to tone it down a bit so it's not quite so... Yeah, look, see, it gives it a really nice effect. Oh, I love. It gives it if you could feel it, you'd know. Let me come in a bit closer so you can see what's actually going on here. Do you see what you see? It looks like glass. Now I'm tempted to do the same thing up here and then lift it again. But you can see exactly what we're doing here. And I haven't used any black micron pens. I'm just using pencils, polychromos, you know, and a white Posca pen makes all the difference. So it's basic and it's not finished. And next week, let's have a look. What's next week is Monday, definitely the SHAC. We've got to get together on Monday because it's not Christmas yet. It's not Christmas yet. Yesterday I blogged about Advent and the German tradition of the Advent wreath. And, you know, a lot of you, several of you said, but it's the third Advent. And I thought, no, don't say that. You know, in my mind, I've lit 2 candles. I've never lit a candle in November yet. Logically speaking, they'd have to be in November to get 28 days in before Christmas. It would never work, would it? But we've only ever in our home lit candles in December. And then the 4th candle gets lit on Christmas Eve. So that's how we roll. And so yesterday I lit the 2nd candle. Next Sunday is the 3rd candle. And then the 4th candle is on Christmas Eve. So strictly speaking, it's probably inaccurate, but it certainly pushes Christmas back by at least a week, friends. So you may want to consider, that. So next Monday, we've still got ages to go. So how about we get together? I'll see you anyway on Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning, just to keep you company. The blog now is still counting down the 100 days, but I don't want to keep pushing sales. So we're going to concentrate on other lovely things, loveliness, joyful things, fun things, word searches, how to pronounce Adventskranz. There you go. Now you've heard it. Adventskranz. Because yesterday I was trying to do it phonetically. I laughed my head off. Dave said, make sure you spell that right. Anyway, today at 2 o'clock, Paul will be keeping you company. I'm going to stay back and concentrate on some other stuff. Then on tomorrow at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, Lou and Paul will be keeping you company. And then on Friday at 10 o'clock, I'll be back. Now, don't forget to support Save the Children by buying those lovely new bijou stamps. I think they're brilliant. And I'll see you. I'll see you next week. I'll see you on Monday, and we will complete our lovely bauble scenes within baubles. Okay. Lots of love. Have a great week. And yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy it. You know what Doris Day sang? It's later than you think. I know. Enjoy yourself. I'm going to leave you with a worm. It's later than you think. Do you know the one? Enjoy yourself while you're still in the... Happy Monday. Bye-bye. Do-do.